Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. On the table in front of us is an older CRKT. This has been around, I think, since about 2017. I finally got the opportunity to get one just because one crossed my table. And I got to tell you, I really like this knife. I am really surprised. This is the CRKT Carnufex, which of course is named after a crocodilian dinosaur or something in that genus. This is a monster knife. It is an 8CR13 MOV. It is a steel frame lock. It is on IKBS bearings. It's actually really great. It really is. It's a monster. I mean, it is a big knife. And it is comfortable, and this blade, look, I know 8CR13 is, well, we as a knife community are sort of over it. But the truth of the matter is that if it's done right, heat treated correctly, it holds an edge very well. And by that I mean it holds an edge when you need it to. It's easy to sharpen. This one is hollow ground. It has a little tiny bit of a recurve to it. This Icoma design is, well, just very good. It has a deep carry clip. There we go. Unfortunately, it's got round head screws, so there is a little bit of interruption there when trying to get this in and out of the pocket. But it is a deep carry clip. It has jimping right where your thumb would want it to be, and a rounded sort of drop spot for moving forward on the blade, which is exceptionally comfortable for any kind of work that you want to do. The overall shape of this thing is just a joy to carry. And the best part is, these are $31 right now on Blade HQ. This is a budget bit of goodness like nobody's business. And it is a monster. Well, how big is it? Well, let's go ahead and line it up on the line. You get 1, 2, 3, and 3/4 of cutting on 4 inches of 8CR13 MOV. The grip area on this knife is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1/4 inches long through the handle. The overall length from end to end is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches long. This is a budget beast. And look at this blade. It is beautiful. It really is. They've knocked the sharp edges off along the top. It has this beautiful swedge. The hollow grind is done very well. At least on my version, the grind is even. It is the same thickness all the way to the tip on both sides. And that is very nice in a budget knife. This is plastic, as is this. We're going to call it nylon of some sort. It looks a little bit like alligator skin, which is, you know, okay then. But CRKT went through a phase, especially Icoma designs, where they were doing that. This is not offensive in it, and it does offer some fairly nice grip. And again, the shape of this knife means it just locks into your hand. And I want to repeat myself, this is 9 inches of well-made knife on bearings for $31 right now, $32 with change. I know I don't do a lot of budget knives, not really, on my channel, and I'd like to change that. If that means I have to dig into the past a little bit, like with this thing, I'm willing to do it. It's all fine and good to show you guys, you know, $2 and $3 and $5 and $600 pocket knives, and I love mine, but this is where I started. This is where most of us start. A $30 or $40 or $50 pocket knife from, you know, a sporting goods store somewhere in a reasonable steel, usually with a steel frame lock. And you know what? I'd like to get back to that a little bit because it brings me to, well, to quote Nick Shabazz, it brings me a little joy. It does. Particularly when it is a monster like this. This has a lanyard hole if you lanyard. You guys know that I don't. But if you do, it is there for you. The steel is milled out all along the edges here. It is a very, God, it's just comfortable in hand. The action is superb. And that's what you get for running on bearings with a nice heavy blade. Detent is not so great. I would say that this is let's say that the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being rock solid and you can't even open the knife, 1 being just floppy. This is probably a 5. But with that said, let's see if I can fail it. No. Nope. With that said, when you break it loose, it opens. And you know, what else can you ask for, really? Especially on a $30 knife. Now, these were near 70 when they first came out, many, many years ago now. And in knife community, 3 years is forever ago. But that these are still out there and still available makes me really happy. And I think it might make you happy, too. Let's do a size comparison. I keep saying how big it is, but let's show that off. Here it is against the Benchmade Bug Out. Yeah, it just completely dwarfs the Bug Out. Let's move that up here and this here. Here it is against the Rat Model 1. It's bigger than the Rat 1. Easily. Let's line this up here and line that up there. It is bigger than the Rat 1 by easily a ½ inch. It's a monster knife. It really is. I love stuff like this. I grew up with stuff like this. When I was young and collected knives, this is the kind of thing that really would have caught my eye. As I've gotten older and come to understand what makes a good knife, I still think that knives like this possess a lot of those features. It has a little bit, well, you can see. It has a little bit of fantasy knife to it, I guess. And that's okay. It certainly has a little bit of recurve to it. But we've talked about recurves. I have found a place for them in my collection. This is a very stabby, pokey knife. It really is. But it's also completely usable. And again, right now, they're $32. Let's go ahead and weigh this thing, which is, I don't think, well, we'll see. Man, the action on this thing is good. Really is very good. Yeah, we're at 5.7 ounces. But you know what? For a 9-inch knife, that's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. There is a little tiny bit of milling on the inside of the stainless steel scales. You know, they could have done more probably, but they didn't, and that's just kind of the way it goes. Let's go ahead and do the specs, just because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I think it's fun, even if you guys don't care that much. Back here at the thickest point, you get 3.74 millimeters of 8CR13 MOV. The handle at its thickest point back here is 13.8 millimeters, or 0.53 inches, so just a little over a ½ inch. The closed profile of this thing is, it's long, man. So we do this, we line it up, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full inches in length. But in its closed state, it's just a little under 1.5 inches. So it doesn't take up a ton of pocket real estate, even though it is a very big knife. Not that long ago, I reviewed the Kershaw NORAD, and in fact, you're probably going to see this review either slightly before or slightly after that one. The Kershaw NORAD is a surprise to me. Oh, here it is. Because it's an excellent knife, still in sort of the budget range. I mean, this is a Kershaw, and this is CRKT, but here's the thing. CRKT made this 3 years ago. Now, recently, CRKT has started releasing some higher-end knives in really good materials. Here's what I think. I think if they took the recurve out of this blade, made this out of titanium, and replaced this faux alligator skin with carbon fiber, they would sell a ton of these, even at $250 or $300. Because the actual design is very good. Are they going to do that? No, of course not. They don't listen to me. But in the meantime, if you are looking for a fun knife for someone who's just getting into knives, or a fun knife for someone who likes more fantasy style, or for someone who just likes big knives that will not break the bank, the CRKT Carnufex, an older design that is still available right now for less than 40 bucks, is absolutely an excellent choice. This thing has brought me a ton of joy. I mean, I straight up bought this, by the way. This isn't like on loan from anybody or anything. I just realized that I wanted some fun budget stuff for the collection and to poke around with and to play with. And this is one of the first things that arrived, and I am completely enamored with it. It's ridiculous in all the best ways. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. This has been the CRKT Carnufex. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. If you have any questions about this or any of the knives you've seen on the channel, feel free to ask down in the comments below. We'll see you guys next time.